And then from the front, she's like, and this was, and Abigail Che, who is actually the actress who plays that role, which is very, very unfortunate, was the only trans person that you had ever seen in public, and she was always the butt of jokes.
I realized that I don't really like Barbie dolls, I don't like pink, I don't like feminine things. Then after a while, when I become more accepting of my femininity, right, then I start to put on makeup. It was very fluctuating because I was exploring and I don't really know what I am. So after a while, the term non-binary came out. Then I was like, oh, this one is the closest I identify to.
I couldn't really figure out what I was because I am both trans and lesbian. And when you're lesbian, you don't really fit into that framework because it's you look around you, it's okay, these people are straight boys. I can't relate to them. I can't click with them. And the other queer alternative there is gay men, gay boys. And I'm I also don't relate to them because I'm also not interested in that. Then what am I? Where do I fit into this whole thing?
So when I'm in secondary school, right, then my school is very homophobic, so I feel very unsafe to come out. And then I was a very tomboy individual, but then I decided to grow out my hair and to act straight. And then find myself a fake boyfriend to stop being the out in class. So I do everything to be straight in order to fit in.
When I was growing up, my parents oh, I have these beautiful daughters. They have to wear dresses. That was when I became aware that there were gender norms for clothing. After primary 1, I only wear dresses at Chinese New Year. That was the only compromise they could get me to wear. And then when I was 10, I was like, okay, fuck that, no more. And they're like, okay lah. Then after that, I've never worn a dress in my life. So when I went to university, I said, okay, please refer to me as Chris, and please use my pronouns. At this time, my name was not legally changed yet. And then the lecturers were kind of oh cool, trust student, let's go. And they were very respectful of my pronouns, and I actually think that made all the difference. So even the people who were referring to me with female pronouns or my dead name were okay lah, lecturer call you means okay. So they all started referring to it. And I say this because I really think that was a very big part. It was the lecturers accepting it that made the reason why everybody decided, yes, I'm going to follow.
In uni, actually, peers for the most part were amazing. Profs for the most part were extremely amazing. Technically not so much that the administrators themselves were bad. Most of them were actually okay. But the rules and the systems and the frameworks and the procedures that they had, that they saw themselves as having to operate with, were a mess lah. A lot of the experience reminded me of the recent case with the MOE one. When that happened, a lot of us could see how ridiculous this was lah.
I feel like the affirmation that I received was pretty reflective of my entire university experience. And I recognize that I'm very fortunate because of that. It's not that all trans people have a uniform experience, and anybody who says that we all have a uniform experience is wrong, because fundamentally, we are not trans first, right? That's only one aspect of our identity. There's so many other aspects of your identity. It could be race, could be religion.
Sometimes I forget I'm trans.
No, because it's not the most important thing.
Exactly.
Humans have such a diverse range of experiences in your entire life, and it's oh, you are trans, therefore your entire life experience is this cannot be what.
Sometimes I go to the public toilet, right? Then I go to the girls' toilet, then I kinda scolded. Hey, 怎么男的进女厕所? Then I open my mouth, huh? Then the auntie oh, sorry. Then when I go to the guys' toilet, then nobody say anything.
Because men don't talk in the toilets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. That's the problem lah. People always misgender me. Then whenever I go to eat or order food, right? Then the person don't know what's my gender. Then they will say, hi sir, madam, hi sir, madam, what do you want to eat?
I've never had that before.
Yeah, then I'm oh, sorry, madam.
It's throw onto the wall and see which one sticks.
Yeah. But it's okay lah, I don't blame them because people can't really tell what am I unless I open my mouth. So I don't really blame them. Yeah. But if they are after I explain then they still being disrespectful, then I'll be angry lah. Like basic human rights.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean I'm not a cis person, then I'm less than other people, you know. Yeah.
You know how sometimes you go to the park and then people have walking their dogs.
Oh yeah, dogs, yes.
And then their dogs are they're oh, run up to you, and then you're oh, it's so cute, what's his name? Then this one is girl. Then you, oh, she, you respect the animal more than us.
Right!
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You respect the gender of the dog matters more to you than the gender of a trans person. So I think it's quite obvious what you're trying to say in that case. You are trying to say that you see trans people as less than animals. Yes. And I think that is the problem. Yes. It's because you don't respect me. That's why you refuse to do it. All these analogies, it's just so common. To me, it's just a it's a very obvious way of people trying to police you. They're trying to tell you who you are. And you will not do that to anybody else, so how come you do it to trans people? How come you do it to LGBT folks? It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
People just believe that it's like black and white. Then they don't see like the grey area. So you are this means you are this. People are not open-minded enough to learn more about. Actually, you are this, then you can be this also. Like if you are trans, you can be a trans lesbian. Doesn't mean you're trans, then you must be straight. They just think that you're trans means you're straight lah. How can you
everyone
be?
tells me that, then I'm
Yeah, how
like-
can you be trans and lesbian?
I'm like, why?
Then they'll like invalidate your opinion. So because like they don't know, that's why they say no, it doesn't exist. I'm sure that like the younger generation are ready, just that the older generation like refuse to acknowledge that they don't like changes lah. They don't like changes.
I don't even think that is true. I actually feel that most of the older generation really mind their own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I mean, and this is, and I'm not saying there isn't some people who are in the older generation that are creating these situations. I would say that when they say that there is a silent majority that is disapproving, I don't think that's actually true. I think there is a silent majority that doesn't give a shit.
Honestly, I think we are more than ready. You know what is not ready right now? Our administrative system that don't want to come up with more SOP to change. That's what's not ready. I think our people are more than ready, actually, honestly speaking. You talk to people from all generations, from all backgrounds. I think people actually genuinely, they get it lah.
When I came out to my grandfather, he was like, "Oh, cool, now you're my grandson," and that was it. Which was shocking to me, by the way. It was very, very affirming. I think if we bring that back around to the whole idea of media censorship and why it's important that we have that representation of LGBT folks in the media so that people can actually make up their own minds about things.
It's like all the gay movie got sad endings one. It's either
Exactly,
either
yeah.
they break up or like they die or what. Can you just give me a happy ending?
Exactly.
Can't we have something nice?
Exactly. It's precisely because we've got to where we are with the support of the people around us, our communities, our friends, be it within the trans community, be it outside. That means a lot to a lot of us. I know not everyone has that. That's why we need to make sure everyone has that.
I want to tell those who are still like struggling to find their identity in like what they are, just be more patient and enjoy the process. Because I don't think you should so fast put yourself in this box like, I am gay, therefore I only can do this. Take more time and just enjoy discovering new things about yourself, and come out when you are ready. Don't force yourself to come out. And don't ever feel that you're alone because there's a lot of us struggling as well and yeah, you're loved.
I think that the most important thing to recognize is that trans people exist around you and actually live as full and rich lives as everybody else. It's not that we all live we live in the same HDB flats.
Yeah.
We could be like your neighbors. We could say hi. That's all. It's such a normal life. We just also happen to be trans, and I don't think that fact that we are trans should supersede everything else that we are. And if you want to find out about trans people, you should just come up and have a conversation. Do so respectfully. Most of the time, we'll be like, yeah, cool. You want to learn more? I'll teach you. Yeah, and that'll make everybody happier.
Can go out and grab a coffee one day lah.
We don't even have to. We don't even have to agree.
Yeah.
We don't even have to agree. We just need to recognize that this exists and not invalidate each other's experience.
Yes.